We are moving. Wanted to get this little pop-up live stream going. Kind of busy day for me at work, so I'm kind of navigating traffic. So once we get a lot more people in the chat, kind of give you guys kind of a rundown on these 4 games before we blast off at 2:30, and then it's pretty much baseball till 11 p.m. So as you guys get into the chat, make sure you all hit that like button, get those thumbs up. All you got to do is hit the 3 white dots as well as or I think just double tap the screen. I'm not sure, but let me know who we got in the chat. If you guys say hello, we got Kevin in the house. Appreciate it, man. And we'll wait for YouTube to send a little bit more people here before we start getting the picks going. What's up, guys? King, what's up, man? Just waiting for this chat to get launched up. If you guys can get those likes going, we'll get a few more people in the house. Appreciate it. Yeah, Patrick, man. Yeah, check it out. Talk it every day. I actually had that one first, and kind of was my seamless way of doing my true passion. But yeah, appreciate it. Good thing I just put that up on the homepage, so thank you for looking at that. Yeah, and feel free if you ever have any questions, just drop it. Drop me a link or whatever. What's up, guys? Hit those like buttons. We're gonna have wait till we get about 30 people in here, and then we'll get going. Not too much really to go crazy because we got 4 games, and I love playoff baseball. It's just a different vibe. And I don't know if you guys are all on the Discord, but kind of had a little lucky one last night. Got a little lucky last night. I needed my favorite bet of the day. I took the over 3.5 runs in the Padres game, and that little blast that we had in the 8th. I think there might even have been 2 outs, but it's one of them things where you're looking at your apps or whatever you use, and you get the scores or what happens. Obviously quicker than if you are watching on like YouTube TV or something. So that was one where I saw the number go 4-0, and I had the over 3.5, the under 4.5. I took live as a hedge. So we had a nice little middle last night. So that was a pretty big decision for me. But didn't do too good in the Astros game. I ended up taking some live action in the 9th inning when they made the pitching change. I used a boost and took the Astros money line at like 3-1 when they were first and second, no outs. So a little calculated risk, but hey, it happens. And very profitable day overall. Hope you guys all had success. Rich, what's happening, man? Yeah, I'll get you we'll get going here in a second. I'm waiting for at least 30 people in this chat. So we need those thumbs up. That's how YouTube kind of sends them our way. And there is a little bit of a delayed. It's a little bit delayed too. So you guys are here. You guys are the first ones here. I appreciate it. But they do send this out like, it's weird. It's like we'll go live for like 10 minutes and then they'll just send it out to 100 people. And then it's just all of a sudden, I just don't want to have to say the same thing over and over again. So, because I am driving, I just want to get the picks out and kind of get on my way. Yeah, but Patrick, appreciate you, man. Check out the crypto channel if you want to. I don't have a Discord for that or anything, but if you, I just talk the news, and I just have a passion for that as well. So, kind of like my third job, but What's up, Alex? OU or Miami of Ohio. Nice. What's my thoughts on the game? Or you're from thoughts on the Miami of Ohio game, or you're from Miami of Ohio? There we go. Now we're starting to get people in the building. 32 people we got. What's up, Mark? Yeah, that's kind of the downfall of doing these little pop-ups. But yeah, Christian, we had a good day yesterday. Kevin, shout out to the Tigers. Not really. Go Indians, man. We might get that little AL Central matchup in next round. I'm planning on going to the game Saturday. If I can get a babysitter, I will be in attendance. So we'll do a little live from the stadium, whoever they play, whether it be the Tigers or the Astros. Kind of don't want it to be Astros because that's a team I don't want to play in the playoffs. And we did that one year and it didn't work out too well. But appreciate you guys all tuning in. We got 40 people live in the building now, so that's good enough for me. If you guys can, put those thumbs up, hit that like button, and let's get into the picks. Trying to just get cruising here. And I do travel a lot for my work, so I know it's not good to do this, but I have to take like 5,000 phone calls a day for my job. So it's like, it is what it is. Okay, so let's get into it. We got enough people here to go. Thank you guys for being the early ones into the video and being prompt. Sometimes people will tune in the last minute, and it's just like, I'm not repeating myself. Okay, so let's talk about it. The first game we're going to get into is the Astros and KC. Or I'm sorry. Well, I don't know who's playing first. I actually don't know. It's the Astros, correct? It's not Kansas City. Yeah, Astros Tigers is the first game. Had a little bit of a brain fart there. So we got Astros Tigers first game. Now this one's interesting because there is kind of a little bit of a backstory here. Okay, we do look at kind of what Detroit's doing. I know Skewball threw well, but this is something where I just got to go with the Stros here. Don't like the pitcher for the Tigers. Skewball, for all accounts, he went deep. He didn't go as deep in the game as you may have expected for how dominant he was. So in this game, you do get the Astros. That number has risen a little bit. I loved it at minus 165 earlier this morning. But this is kind of where we're going to go into that narrative regardless for this game. Okay. It's something where I got to just be honest with you guys. I think the Astros, they prevail here pretty easily. So if you guys are building parlays, it's the only way I'd get involved with that minus 180. But I do think the Astros here on the run line are a pretty good bet. The way I'm going to play it, though, is a little bit different than you guys probably normally play baseball, and it's something I feel very strongly about. So that's kind of what I'm going to get into right here. We are going to take this game, and it's going to be Houston to not bat in the ninth inning, okay? So you can circumvent that big money line price. Houston to not the bat in the ninth inning. So that's the way I'm playing it. DraftKings right now has it at minus 120. That is my best bet for this game. I'm not going to lay the minus 180. So I'm going to take Houston not to bat in the ninth inning. That's my best bet for the first game. I think that Hunter Brown is going to be dominant. It was a little bit of a weird matchup yesterday because you saw what happened within the Tigers. They had a lot of seeing eye singles, a lot of, just moving the chains, right? First to third, plating runs. It was very, very efficient baseball game for them. And when you have a pitcher like Skewball going, that's really all you need, okay? So for me, that's what I'm laying. Astros not to bat the ninth, minus 120 on DraftKings. That is the best bet for me in that Astros game, the first game with the Tigers. Okay, next, let's talk about the matchup that we have within Kansas City. Okay, now Kansas City and Baltimore, They are going to throw Seth Lugo, and there is a little bit of a history here. Okay, there's only one game log that we can go off of, but the Royals and Orioles. Okay, this is where I'm going to go a little contrarian here. If you got with 9 postseason losses, okay, that's very, very eye-opening. Right? You never bet against a trend to stop. And I'm not saying let's go ahead and do that. But what I'm saying is Zach Eflin for the Orioles, since being acquired for the Rays, he's been effective, but he has been a little bit shaky in his recent starts. I think it's a pitcher that the Royals, they have some familiarity playing another AL pitcher. I think they face each other, or they faced him once, when he was on Tampa Bay. And in that matchup, there was a lot of runs, okay? And now Lugo, he's not the Cy Young candidate we saw early in the first half of the season. Okay, it's a different pitcher, it's a different ball game. So for me, guys, this is pretty much cut and dry. I'm going to buy the juice here. I'm never going to lay a half run in the playoffs. You notice in the regular season, it's always been like 8.5s, 8s. It's pretty much the benchmark for an over/under for total runs in the play. It's a lopsided pitch. You do get 2 aces going. More times than not, you're going to have 8.5s. But in the playoffs, that number is always going to be set at 7.5. Okay, so this is kind of what we see this game within the Royals and the Orioles. For me, I just go on recency, and I know everybody kind of has their best stuff in the playoffs. You could look at Framber Valdez and go the opposite direction, right? What we saw yesterday, it wasn't his best stuff. It wasn't what we were seeing in the regular season, and it was kind of an outlier. All right, I mean, you could tell that from the get-go in the first 2 innings, his stuff was off. He didn't have his best stuff, and that happens. Okay, but I do think these pitchers get a little amped up, and that always isn't a good thing, right? You put a little juice on that 4-seam, all it's going to do is help the ball get over the wall faster. Okay, it really comes down to it where it's everybody's amped up, and I think that this is where we see the Orioles maybe not win the game, but I do think they buck the trend where they're not going to get shut out, right? We saw the dominant performance by Corbin Burns, and if you would have told me that the Royals scored, what was it, 1 run? The Royals score 1 run and the Orioles lost, I would have told you you're full of shit. But that's just how I feel about it. Signal is going haywire. Yeah, sorry about that. I got to figure that one out. But appreciate the feedback in the comments. Maybe I'll pull over and just finish this up. Probably should do that anyways. But Royals and Orioles, it comes down to a couple things, guys. I'm going to pay the juice. I'm going to make this one minus probably like minus 120, minus 125, whatever you can find out there. But I am going to be taking the over 7 in this game. Okay. I think there's a potentiality that, we get 4 runs. Each starting pitcher gives up, 2 earned, and we do get 4 runs before we hit the bullpens. And then obviously we have the chance at extras. We have the chance for a little bit of a backdoor cover late in the game. But for me, guys, this is a pretty straightforward bet for me. The Orioles have to win. They're going to they might be pressing a little bit at the plate, but I still think they played enough runs where we do get an over in this game. So I do like the over 7 in the Orioles Royals. Okay, that's where I'm at. That will be my best bet for the Orioles and Royals. And yeah, Sean, I see you here, man. Can you guys hear me okay? I think something went weird with the stream here. I just got a notification saying it uploaded, so I'm worried that it kind of Can you hear me? Hello? Let me know in the chat if you guys can still hear me. Black screen. Yeah, my screen's frozen. Video's out. Hold on, let me try something. Are we back? Okay, cool. All right, let's get it. All right. All right, yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for sticking with me. Sometimes you do get technical issues with these live streams, especially when you're driving, which is not a good idea. So that's why I pulled over. Um, yeah, so that's where I'm at. For me, it's going to be the first two bets. For those that you guys missed it, it was the Astros not to bat in the ninth inning, minus 120. I'm taking the over Kansas City, Baltimore. I'm going to buy that half point. We're going to take that at 7. Okay. And then let me get into some of the comments now that I can read them. Lugo over 3.5 strikeouts. I don't hate it. He's kind of a contact pitcher. Just depends how far he goes, right? It depends how far he goes. I don't mind it. Yesterday was the strikeout prop that I really did like with King. If you guys watch me kind of day in and day out, you do know there's a few pitchers I target relatively frequently within their strikeout markets. Okay. And one last thing about that Kansas City game that I feel like it's relevant to discuss. Okay, Kansas City is kind of that trendy dog. Okay, Kansas City's a little bit of that trendy dog. They're plus 130 on the money line. You can get the run line at minus 175. They're just a little trendy dog. I think like one of the most popular bets right now is Kansas City first 5 innings, plus half run at plus money. It's just something where I think that that is a potential. I just don't see the Orioles getting blanked. So I'm taking the over 7 runs. That's just my best bet. So Orioles over 7 runs against the Royals. I'm staying away from the money line in this game. And that's just kind of where I'm at, right? Royals are too trendy of an underdog. And then in that first game, I see some comments. You guys missed it. I'm taking the Astros not the bat in the 9th inning. Okay. Guys, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel and also make sure you put those thumbs up. We have 19 thumbs up, but we had over 100 people in this live stream. So you got to hit those thumbs up for me. That's all I ask. The 3 white dots in the bottom right. Double tap your screen. That's another thing you can do. Send some love. Okay. But now let's get into that Mets Brewers game. This is one where we look into this game. Right now, it's pretty much a pick 'em. Okay. And for me, guys, this is a pretty much cut and dry bet. I don't like the pitcher for the Brewers. Okay. Frankie Montas, in my opinion, is a horrible, horrible starter for them right now. And it's just a bad matchup. I think Manea is good. We do have a lot of their money pitchers for the Mets available late. And I think this is something where you look at the Mets here, I just can't throw any money against them right now the way they're hitting the baseball. They were probably the hottest team outside the Padres as we wrapped up the season. What they did in the second half was amazing. You even got to the argument that we look at, Lindor was getting some MVP consideration, okay? And, he wasn't going to win it or take home that hardware, but it's still just what he was doing for that discussion to even take place was amazing. So I think we couple that all together. We fade Frankie Montas, and I'm comfortable backing Manea on this run. The Mets, Brewers an elimination game. The Mets kind of on the road. That's why we're seeing some value here. But for me, guys, it's Mets. I think this is another one where we get into kind of the Mets money line being a very, very strong play. Also at plus 170, Mets on the run line. I don't hate it. Okay, I don't hate it one bit. That's a lot of value at minus 1.5. If you guys are run line players only, with some people in baseball, that's all they do is bet run lines. I do favor that as well at plus 170. Kind of like yesterday. I know I lost those 2 bets with the Astros and the Orioles, but it's something where you get that value on the run line. I'm okay losing that. If I'm only playing one unit and I lose it, all I got to do is hit one more and we basically are back to even. So, this is kind of where we're at. Same situation. I look for I've seen some comments. I do like the Mets team total. I'll recap at the end before I sign off. Okay. But I do like the Mets team total over. I think they get 4 runs. I think the Mets win. I think the over hits. I just think it's going to be very similar to the game we saw yesterday if you look at the numbers. Okay. Next one. we're going to talk Braves Padres, and this is kind of like a dead in the water game for the Braves, man. Max Fried's a great pitcher. His numbers have been good lately, but it's something where you look at Joe Musgrove on the other side of this argument. It's pretty much cut and dry for me. Musgrove, if you look at his game logs, he's given up basically like one run a game. All right. And the way that San Diego's lineup's hitting, and quite frankly, if you watched that game yesterday, I talked about that big bet I won, where I did have the Padres team total over 3.5. They had 3 runs in the first 2 innings, and they could have hit that and closed it up. In that second inning, they didn't. They left the runner on base, and that's something where you could talk about it again, right? That looked like it was going to be one where we saw it 7-8 runs out of the Padres, and they're big players. I mean, I think they just were going for you kind of get that lead. You play from out in front. It's where you start having some discipline issues as a hitter. We saw a lot of fly balls. A lot of hitters were not having quality at bats. They were just going for the long ball. They were going for that home run kill shot. Okay. And for me, it's something where I think that's a good sign for the Padres because they have confidence. But I don't think that, this is something where we have to deviate too much from the handicap guys. Joe Musgrove's been fantastic. We get the Padres at minus 120 right now. Going against Fried, the Braves bullpen, you can go down the list. They're pretty much depleted. For me, it's pretty much cut and dry bet on the Padres here, minus 120. I think they get this series done in 2 in advance. It's just where I'm at, right? I think that's a pretty much a straightforward bet as it gets. So that's where I'm going to be at for the Braves-Padres game. Okay. So just a quick recap of my picks. We are going to go, before I get into the comments, we are going to go Houston to not to bat in the 9th inning. Probably my favorite bet of the day, minus 120. Mets, we're going to take them plus money. If you find it, shop around. It's about even. Mets on the money line. And then obviously San Diego minus 120 there on the money line is the best number we can find right now. Okay, so it's just around minus $1.20 for taking the San Diego Padres. Okay, that's kind of where I'm at. Those are my best bets. Like I told you guys with the Kansas City Baltimore game, it's probably my least favorite bet of the day. But I do find an angle and an edge in taking runs. So I do like the fact that we get a plus pitching matchup with Lugo, but his numbers haven't been that great. He's given up a lot of runs. He's not going to go deep into the game, in my opinion. And we do get Eflin, same story, different chapter, right? So it's going to be basically 2 ways we're going to get fed into that narrative where I see this game playing out 4-3 at worst, and we do get a push on that 7. Okay, so over 7 will be the best bet for Kansas City and Baltimore. Okay, not an official play. I don't know if I'm going to bet that one, just being honest with you guys. I'm on my way to the sports book right now, and we'll see what that decision ends up being. But that's kind of where I'm at with these 4 games and how I would attack it. So appreciate you guys. If you guys want to drop me some comments right now, I will try to answer them. But if you haven't done so, please take care of some business for me. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and always, always, always feel free to become a channel member here at TVM. There's a link in the description and on the channel homepage if you want to give back. That's a great way to do so. So any comments? What is my max amount of bets in a parlay? I'm more of like a 4 or 5 leg kind of guy. That's my sweet spot. Yeah, 4 to 5 legs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really much to talk about. We'll have football out a little bit later today. I'll post my NFL video this evening. That's where we're going to get into kind of the Thursday night football game, a couple college football games we have before Saturday, and yeah, obviously NFL football on Sunday. So no run first innings. Yeah, Nerfies are kind of tough in the playoffs because there's a lot of I guess you would call different variables than you have in regular season games. Regular season, you kind of get that nerfy play because it's a sleepwalking kind of sleepwalking bet. You can play off that narrative. But for the playoffs, I think that you do have the propensity to get more yes runs first innings than not too, even though they're a little bit more lower scoring. So Just not something I'm in love with. I think it's too variable for the playoffs. It's just a whole different data set too. So you can't really just, I don't want to say you're betting blind, but it's just more of a coin flip in the playoffs. Padres first 5 money line. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to just kind of have the lead the whole game, and very similar to what we saw yesterday. Albeit, I think they even get a better matchup against Freed. I actually think that the Astro or the Padres should have won with a little bit more margin yesterday, to be honest. Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks. Don't hate it. So Elijah, good question. That's a bet that a lot of people aren't familiar with, but it's a way to get a discount on the money line. So essentially what that means is that the Astros are going to win the game. I think it's on game specials at DraftKings. So it essentially means that they're going to win the game, but instead of laying a big minus 180 number, you're essentially saying that they're going to win the game through 8 innings and then hold off the other team in the ninth. So they're not going to bat in the bottom frame of the ninth inning. So you do get a discount on that money line. And in this situation, I do think that the Astros take care of business that way. I would be very, very, very hard pressed to see the Astros get swept in 2 games. So kind of my bet. And, so if it goes extra innings or the Astros win it in the bottom frame of the ninth, you're going to lose that bet. So, but we do get it at minus 120 versus minus 180. Well, yeah, that about wraps it up. We went 30 minutes live. Just gave you a quick rundown of my plays. Appreciate you all. If you guys haven't followed me on X yet, make sure you guys do. Twitter, it's formerly Twitter. So I do have a link for my Twitter page in the description as well, and all my videos. So make sure you follow me on there because I do post things throughout the day. Also on Discord, we'll be live there a little bit later on today. Like I said, I'm working, so I did this one a little bit remote. And I know it's late, but it's still 1 o'clock, and the games don't start till I think 2:30. So got a little bit left of my drive, and then we'll be back more traditional tomorrow. We'll do a little bit more traditional time for the and I'll have the video out in a more traditional way tomorrow. We'll do like more of a rundown, but with these playoffs, it is what it is. We don't have 15 games, so it doesn't need to be anything elaborate. But as long as we get the picks and share it with you guys. There's something I want to share with you guys a little bit too. One thing to be careful with playoff baseball is don't use regular season principles. It's a whole different type of baseball, okay? And then on top of that, it's something where, you're betting the same teams. It's almost like taking a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series in the regular season, but you're betting every game. So, like, for example, this is game 2. So if you guys went out game 1 and you got, you lost a lot of bets, it's a very, very easy situation to start chasing losses with playoffs, right? Because you're going back and back. You're saying, oh, you can't lose 2 in a row. And, you just have to be careful and be responsible because it's a very, very easy path to go down, start chasing losses in the playoffs. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Alex, favorite 2-leg? Probably the Padres and the Astros not to lose in the ninth, or not to bat in the ninth inning. But if you want to get into some player props, we can do that. I'm just not too keen on it. You need to track kind of like playoff performers because, like I said, it's a different handicap. So, for example, Tatis, I talked about this a little bit, is one of the best OPSs in postseason history. Okay, so Tatis props are going to be juicy, but they're also very profitable. So, like tonight, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. That would be something I would explore with Tatis. Pretty much every game in the playoffs. You're just not gonna lose more than you win. He's gonna ball out every game that he's available. I do think that Manny Machado had a little relatively sleepy game yesterday. He's not in a slump. That would be kind of one of my bets where like Manny Machado, 2 total bases. I do like that. Manny Machado would probably be my favorite pick for a home run for anytime home run. There's also an interesting bet I saw on DraftKings. It was team cycle. It pays like 13-1. So single, double. It means that you have to have 4 hits, 4 total team hits. You have to have a single, double, triple, and a home run. And I could see that happening with the Mets. So kind of just that's an interesting a little special prop bet. It's a flyer, so that's something where if you have free bets, it's something that I'd throw on. But 13-1, you got to expect that not to win, but that's a pretty good value if you look at it. And I think that triples are very hard to come by. That's really where you're going to lose that bet more times than not. Elijah, best 4-leg. Well, I gave you 4 picks in each one of the 4 games, so that's probably where I'd go. But yeah, so that's what we got. I'm going to sign off, though. I want to finish my drive. Good luck with your picks out there. Thanks for tuning in. Apologies that it wasn't like, the traditional earlier video, but best I could do for today. So appreciate you all watching. Like I said, make sure you guys all subscribe here on YouTube. Follow me on X, all that good stuff. And if you want to become a channel member, give back. Links down below in the description. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy some baseball. We'll see you guys tomorrow.